Kenrick, you, we hereby waive any and all potential actual conflicts of interest pursuant to the Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct, Rules 1.7, 1.9, and 3.7. Mr. Kendrick has no objection to your continued representation of Mr. Williams, and we would be happy to continue to make that representation in open court at any future hearing. Should you need anything else, please do not hesitate to contact me at any time. With kindest regards, I am sincerely, and has J. Abstain, your lawyer. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I know that you and Mr. App talked about this before he authored this letter. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did Mr. App explain to you the types of potential conflicts that could come up when a lawyer who previously represents a defendant later represents another defendant in a case where they're co-defendants?
Yes, sir.
All right. Specifically, do you understand that the state could offer to dismiss the case against one co-defendant, reduce the charges, or agree to a lower punishment if that co-defendant would testify against the other? You understand that?
Yes.
You also understand that a witness might say something or evidence might come in helpful to one co-defendant but harmful to the other. You also understand that a lawyer may want to use a defense theory, witness, evidence, or argument that is helpful to the lawyer's current client but harmful to the lawyer's former client. You understand that? All right.
Yes, sir.
During closing argument, the lawyer may want to argue that the evidence against his current client is less than the evidence against the former client. You understand that?
Yes.
If there's sentencing, the lawyer may want to argue that his current client is less culpable than his former client.
Yes, sir.
All right, and you also understand that the lawyer may have learned something from the former client that helps the current client but hurts the former client.
Yes.
All right. And did Mr. App go through examples with you about how these possible conflicts might come up in this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you understand these potential conflicts?
Yes.
And are you still certain that no actual conflict exists and no actual conflict will ever exist?
Right.
All right. And you fully understand what Mr. App has explained to you?
Yes.
All right. Oh, I need to do something. You know what? Mr. Gary, I forgot to swear in. All right, let me go and do that. You're supposed to remind me. I asked you to do that. Mr.
You also asked me not to interrupt, Judge.
When do you ever listen to me? I mean, you know, none of y'all do that. Hey, Mr. Kenrick, we need to kind of go through this again because I forgot to swear you in, okay? In my hesitancy, all right? Raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the evidence you'll give me in the matter now and here and shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, so affirm?
Yes.
All right. Do you swear that what you just told the court is true and accurate and complete?
Yes,
Is on and is. Do you want me to go through any of these again with you?
You were finished, right?
I'm sorry?
I said you were finished, right?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I was finished, yes.
Yeah.
But do you have any questions about about the waiver that Mr. App discussed with you, or anything that I've added to discuss to make sure that you understand that waiver?
No, he pretty much went over everything.
Okay, all right. So do you give this waiver freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Nobody's forced, threatened, or tricked you into entering this waiver?
No, sir.
And you're doing so because you talked with counsel and you believe it's in your best interest to enter this waiver. Is that correct? All right. Okay, Mr. App, anything else, sir?
Just for the record, Your Honor, in accordance with the Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct, Rule 1.7, there are 3 prongs to that rule before any defendant can waive potential conflict. And I want to make sure that we're on the record that I've met those 3 prongs prior to today. The first would be to review the material risks in writing and give reasonable alternatives to the client. I've done that. consult with independent counsel. We've done that. And the third would be to meet and discuss the options and issues with my client, and we've done that as well. And as a result, as what you've just heard on the road from Mr. Kendrick, is that he is making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver at any potential conflict of interest. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Gear, Ms. Rosenwasser, is that sufficient, madam, or sir?
Yes, Your Honor, we feel that would be sufficient to waive the conflict with Mr. Steele. Our understanding is the only remaining defendant that hasn't orally waived as well as Mr. Stillwell.
Okay, and I think that we will have him in just a second, but we'll see. Okay, all right. Okay, Mr. Abt, just give me a second and we'll cover the rest of it, okay, in just a minute, all right? Or the ones I think I can cover today, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, sir. Anything else?
Well, just when you're ready to hear whatever motions you want from us, Your Honor, there are, I have two co-counsel, and we've sort of divvied up the work, so.
Okay, all right.
Katie Hingerly and Mr. Doug Weinstein, who are here.
Okay, as soon as I can get to it, just give me a minute.
This is Kendrick lawyer. But this lawyer is representing the whole gang, y'all. But there are consequences behind a lawyer representing all of them.
Mr. Eppinger, can you hear me, sir? Yes, sir. All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah. There go Young Thug sleep.
Yeah, you probably will. Can we interrupt you just a second, please?
He not asleep, y'all. Yes, in this case, they got one lawyer representing all of them. But consequences behind it.
Yeah, Mr. Siminoff, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have Mr. Eppinger here with us at this point in time, position number 1. I was just going to ask him some questions about representation. Mr. Eppinger, good morning, sir. Sir, do you have an attorney? No. Would you like the court to go ahead and appoint you an attorney for this case? Yes, sir. All right. I'm going to have Mr. Siminoff, who's with the Public Defender's Office, talk with you in just a minute and qualify you to see if you can qualify for the services of the Public Defender or Conflict Defender, and we'll go ahead and let him do that this morning.
I'm sorry, I actually have information on Mr. Eppinger. His case was already submitted for C3 counsel on August 19th from our office, and it was approved and forwarded to the state office. So if he doesn't have a lawyer at this point, I believe the state office is still working on securing representation for him, but our office is part in that process.
So you've already started that process?
We've already submitted the form. They have been approved by my supervisor and forwarded to the state office, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Chamberlain, since he's in GDC custody, can we put him back on for the 5th of October and see if that counsel will join us at that point, by that time? Okay, all right. Mr. Eppinger, I'm going to go ahead and put you on for the 5th of October. So it looks like the quest to have representation for you is already started. So somebody should be reaching out to you very soon to talk with you about representation, okay? Yes, sir. But I am going to go ahead and put you back on for the 5th of October, okay? Yes, sir. All right. Unless you have any questions, sir, you're welcome to remain, or I can go ahead and release you, okay? I'm good. Say again? I said I'm good. I'll leave. Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Okay, all right. All right, thank you, Mr. Simmons. I appreciate it.
They getting their court arrangements together here, y'all, with their attorneys, and they in court today on the young thug Rico. It's 14 of them. I won't be able to record all of them. I get much as I can. Some of them have lawyers, some of them don't. Some of they are getting them appointed for lawyer, because you know January will be here before you know it. We are in the month of September, and like I said, January will be here quickly, soon as you know it. And time served is going to help some of them.
All right, is Mr. Stillwell on the platform?
Judge, he's not out yet. Inmate Stillwell have some special conditions to where the deputies haven't been able to escort him out to the booth yet. So they're asking for a little bit more time
Oh, yes, ma'am.
to get him to the booth.
That's perfectly fine. Just let us know whenever he is ready.
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, madam.
Mr. Adams Mr. Seda put in the Zoom chat that when counsel or at the defense table, we hear everything you were saying, even when you whisper. That mic is hot.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Dave.
But he's happy to have you keep talking. So, probably for obvious reasons, but